All right, Chris, let's go to headline number 3. So Instacart unveiled connected stores on Monday. There was quite the buzz around Grocery Shop for that, which is a bundle of new and existing Instacart platform technologies that are intended to help grocers build a unified, seamless, and personalized experience both online and in store. Now,
sounds so cool.
Yes. Now, let me break it down for you. Thankfully, Chain Storage has bulleted this out for all of us.
Right.
So the connected store platform includes the newest model of the Caper Cart and AI-powered Smart Cart, one.
Which I can't wait for you to talk about.
Yes. A scan and pay feature, which lets customers scan items as they shop and then pay for them using their mobile phone. Carrot tags, which enable retailers to connect electronic shelf labels to the Instacart platform and add functionality like pick to light and other things.
Makes sense.
FoodStorm's order management system, which helps retailers manage grab and go and prepared food orders in the store. And then out of stock insights APIs, or an out of stock insights API that helps the retailers provide automatic real-time alerts to associates when items are running low or out of stock. Chris,
tell them what they want, Ann.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Well, I wish that this was the only headline that had like 15 bullets to it, but we have another one that's very complex.
Right. But it's tough.
Make sense of this for us. Like, what do you think of Instacart's announcement?
I don't get it at all.
Yeah.
Like, and the funny thing about that list seems really long,
right?
But when you actually, it's great that you read through it because it's only 5 things. And running a store or 5 or I don't know how many it was, 5 or 6 things. Don't quote me on that, listeners. But like when you run a store, there's so much more involved in it than those 5 things, especially a connected store.
Right.
And for some reason, Bristol Farms out in California appears to be all in on this. And my question for Neil Stern is like, what are you thinking? Like, what I don't get most of all is it's just, like I said, it's not enough to create a connected store. It shows me that Instacart doesn't have the faintest idea of how to actually run a grocery store.
Right.
The fact that they're thinking they can pitch this makes no sense to me. I'm going on a rant here again, but I think that's another indictment of their CEO trying to juice the stuff, trying to juice everything for the IPO.
Yes.
But somebody told us never trust somebody that's trying to raise money, which I think this is totally apropos to that.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing is the way they're putting the tech together via acquisitions and partnering with companies like on the pricing tags, which in essence, I've talked about pricing tags. I love pricing tags, but that makes them appear headed down the road of being like a service integrator.
Yeah.
Like, and there's tons of those out there.
Right.
That's a crowded landscape. And why is Instacart any better at doing the integration on in-store technologies than anyone else? And so net, the big guys are never going to go for this.
Right.
The big guys will never do this. The middle guys probably won't do this either to this extent, letting Instacart into their store. So that means you're fighting for the little opportunities like a Bristol Farms that might go with this because Instacart's likely paying them to do it, to be their petri dish. But playing in that market is it's a patchwork. You're going to be fighting against a patchwork of random stuff, trying to do the same thing. And it's a slow grow dogfight at best. So I don't understand how this makes any difference in the long run. Okay, ran over. What do you think?
It was totally bizarre because people were very divided about this announcement on Monday. Like some people were coming up to us like, did you see the Instacart booth? Like, look at all these things they can do. And it's like, I guess, but like, again, to your point, Chris, I think like, how are you going to, I just don't understand how you're going to make money if it's just the smaller players who are working with you. And just from a resource perspective, like how you still have to onboard like 100 of these individual stores versus like taking one giant retailer and working with them to implement this.
Great point.
I know Publix is like they talk so much about Publix and how they're doing all this work with them, but I mean, is that it? Like, who else are we going to really see adopt this?
Right. And why haven't we seen the cart in more places, Ann? Like, seriously, why haven't we seen the cart in more places?
I don't know. That still doesn't make sense to me. I asked the Instacart team at the booth about the cart because one of the questions that I have too is like these smart carts, super cool from a technology standpoint. But when you think about usability and like a mom going into shop and now you've removed the child seat. There's no child seat. Now, like, I don't know, as a mom, are you going to feel comfortable putting your kid in a like some sort of radioactive cart that you're not sure? Like, do you just put them in the basket with all the stuff?
Tell your story. Like you asked them.
I asked them, and the response from Instacart when I said, "Are you thinking about putting a child seat back into this at any point in time?" The response was, "We hadn't even thought of that." Which I don't know if they were like, "That's messing around with me," because it seems so strange that you wouldn't have even considered that so far. But yeah, I mean, I guess I have so many questions around this. I don't understand who's going to use it. I still think that there's a lot of work to do, even with the integrations. Like the other one I'll just say real quickly is the food ordering, the order management system, that you have to still go in. If you don't want to use the kiosk in store or you want to order ahead of time, you have to go to a separate site, download an app, then place your order from the retailer. It's not even integrating with the retailer's app at this point in time. So it still just feels so disjointed, and like it's going to take so much hands-on work that the Bristol Farms example is going to be a tell all, I think.
Yeah, and the scan and go too, like that one's almost laughable to me. Like, oh, okay, yeah, you know how to coordinate with an online POS. That's much easier than coordinating with an in-store POS system.
Oh, and
like light years difference in what that means, and it's not an easy thing to do.
And then, like you said
there's
before,
tons of people that can do it.
Well, but then there's the other point of what we've talked about before is like, so you're just gonna deploy scan and go, and look at what had just happened with Wegmans. Like there's no change to the footprint of the grocery store,
and you have no experience doing it.
Right.
And you're buying all these companies, you have no experience doing it. So we hate this, right? I mean, I think we hate it. Like, I mean, I don't
I'm
understand.
trying
to keep an open mind. I don't understand it at all.
I don't understand how this is going to get you like people more. I don't know how this supports the IPO, because if I'm looking at this as a logistics minded investor, I'm like,
and as soon as this panoply of stuff is live at Bristol Farms in Irvine, California, I'm on a plane. Like legitimately on a plane. Like I want to see how Bristol Farms, which is like a very like beautiful store, is going to adapt to all this crazy new technology that you're going to throw into it. But maybe I'm nuts. Maybe I'm wrong. All right,